Hi, my name's J.M. Hollis. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I am a contemporary romance writer, currently writing a soccer romance set in Las Vegas between a soccer player and the owner of a dog rescue. Today I wanted to talk about interiority with characters, but before I get into that, I want to address this. You will be seeing me wear this same outfit in many videos because I am pre-recording and I did not want to keep changing out of shirts just to have the sake of, pretending like it's a different day when it's not. So with that out of the way, character interiority, first, what is it? So it is how a character thinks and feels, and those thoughts and feelings can be addressed by a couple different ways. The first way is in the narration, and so that's when it directly tells you how the character is feeling within the narration itself. So the example this article gives, and I will link the article down below, is her excitement surged as she approached the stage. So it's literally telling you she's excited and why she's excited. The other way is direct thought, and so that's your POV character's direct thoughts. And so it's what is passing through the character's mind exactly. And so the example they give is a line like, "I can't believe he said that." And so the character is thinking that. So that tells you that the character is shocked, that they're having a moment of disbelief. Maybe they're, depending on how it's said and in what context, or not said, but thought, and then depending on what context, maybe they're a little indignant. And then the last one is free indirect discourse. And so that is when it's in third person and the character's thoughts are relayed within the narration with little differentiation between the character's thoughts and the narration itself. I had to read that one like verbatim because it's a little bit less easy to remember. And so the example they give is, "He ran his hand through his hair and furrowed his brow." Why would she do that? And so it's giving action that shows that he's frustrated, confused, maybe exasperated, and he's questioning, why did she, whoever she is, do that thing? So I thought what would be maybe helpful is looking at a segment of my writing to kind of ponder about my own character interiority and maybe give extra examples. I don't know, I just thought it might be helpful or might be fun. So I am going to switch you over to my computer's camera and we will read a short excerpt from my book. Alright, so I have this piece pulled up. It's a chapter from the first act that I actually shared with the Writers Workshop group that I am in the Storyteller Society Discord, and so I feel okay with sharing this out into the world, and it's only a part of it, so it's okay. Keep in mind, this is a first draft. I haven't gone back and edited anything, so, I'm sure it needs line editing, probably developmental editing, but we're not there yet. Anyway, so to kind of set the scene with what they're doing, Nolan is sitting in a chair on one side of the lobby, and Charlotte is sitting behind the desk. So like he's over here, she's over here, and they just got done training one of the dogs, trying to get him to be better on a leash, and in the process of trying to get him ready to take him out to go train him, the dog super crazy, super excited, and pulls Charlotte into Nolan, and Nolan has to hold her up, and they're super close, and it's tension. But anyway, so this is after that happens. He looks completely relaxed and at ease in the too small, stiff, and squeaky chair. I, on the other hand, still felt a twinge of anxiety from being pulled into him this morning. I fidget, fingers tapping, agitated, on my thigh. I should be over it. It was an accident. No big deal. But the moment replays in the back of my mind, bringing with it a heavy weight of cringe. We were so close. My body was pressed into his. Logic yells, "It literally wasn't anything, Charlotte." In the back of my mind, he was just keeping me from falling and keeping me from taking him down as well. But logic was being drowned out by the lizard part of my brain that kept hyper-focusing on the fact that his hands were on me, that he had been holding my body. It shouldn't bother me. I shouldn't have thought twice about it. Yet, I sit with as much space between us as possible in the small lobby, thinking about what he's thinking. He felt the swell of my stomach against his, my rolls under his hands. He had to be so embarrassed, so uncomfortable, so disgusted. I'm utterly humiliated, but Nolan is fine. Normal, seemingly unfazed. He didn't say anything when it happened, aside from asking if I was all right. He was actively involved in the training, and he didn't treat me any differently than he had when we were in the kennels. Even now, he just ate his sandwich and scrolled through his phone. So why could my brain not accept that it really was nothing and that I was being irrational? He had to be thinking about it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and pulled up that article that I will reference in the description box, but I figured it'd be cool or helpful to go through that little part that I read and identify the 3 parts of showing interiority. So the first one was narration, and remember that was when the narrator directly tells the reader how they're feeling. So right here, the very first part, I, on the other hand, still felt a twinge of anxiety from being pulled into him this morning. That's Charlotte literally saying, "I feel anxious." And then, all right, so the second sentence is narration as well, but it's a little bit different. It says on the website or on the article that it could be a description of their emotional response. So saying, "I fidget, fingers tapping, agitated, on my thigh. I should be over it. It was an accident. No big deal," is giving a physical response to how she's feeling. So we directly said that she's feeling anxious, and now we're seeing a physical response of that anxiety, to where we're possibly starting to feel that anxiety as well. And then the thoughts of, "I should be over it. It was an accident. No big deal." Having those thoughts in your brain where you're trying to like calm yourself down. And then, but the moment replays in the back of my mind, bringing with it the weight of heavy cringe. Bringing with it a heavy weight of cringe. And so, again, it's not directly saying like, "I'm anxious" over and over, but when you're anxious, your thoughts can be cyclical, and you can be thinking about, the same thing over and over and hyper analyzing it and being hyper focused on certain aspects of a situation or something that's been said or things like that. Then where it says, but logic was being drowned out by the lizard part of my brain that kept hyper focusing on the fact that his hands were on me, that he had been holding my body. So that again would be narration. So it looks like when I do character interiority, at least in this section, it's a lot of narration. In other chapters, I know that I do direct thought and free indirect discourse. If I could find them quickly, I would find them, but I think it'd be a little harder to find them because I'd have to look through everything. But the last one I'll say, like, even though this is, I think this one would maybe be direct thought, even though I didn't italicize it. I'm doing this as if I'm italicizing on a keyboard. Anyway, I think it would still be direct thought, even though it's not italicized. But maybe it could be free and direct discourse, because it could be considered narration or character's thoughts. But he had to be thinking about it. So she's clearly still hyper focused and is like anxious, because when you're anxious, especially when you're anxious about how you're being perceived by other people, you're like, I'm thinking about it, so obviously they have to be thinking about it. So, but it does look like I mostly use narration. Again, I'm utterly humiliated, directly saying how the character's feeling. So I don't know if that was actually helpful or not, with looking at character interiority and like seeing the different kinds used in a piece of writing, and how they kind of, like, it's not just like one and done. Like, you don't just pick narration and you only do narration. I guess you could, maybe, but really they like interact with each other, and like you have narration, which can feed into direct thought, which can feed into free and direct discourse. So they work together, and they're kind of like a package deal. But I guess maybe some people only express interiority through certain ways. I don't know. Let me know. If you got this far in the video, comment a pencil emoji for writing. I think there's a pencil emoji. There should be. There's like an emoji for everything. So if there's a pencil emoji, leave it down below if you don't feel chatty. Otherwise, what are ways that you find yourself doing character interiority? Do you mostly do narration? Like in this bit, mine was mostly narration. Of those three, which one do you find yourself using? And even if you don't use the exact words, like, how do you show character interiority? I'm really interested to know how other people are showing their characters' thoughts and feelings. So, yeah. Anyway, like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.